All right, let's get started. Today we have something somewhat of a special topic to talk about. I think most of you know when we say the words AR and VR. So today we are going to talk about what is augmented reality, what is virtual reality, and what are the things that we can learn and how to develop software for AR and VR. So with the new developments in the technology and new developments in the UX UI department, the newest trend and newest thing that we can use to demonstrate our tech is AR and VR. So there are two different categories and they have two different philosophies that they are using to interpret data and provide the information for the user. So one philosophy is the AR, also known as augmented reality. So what they are doing is, let's say I have a table in front of me, then that is my reality. The table in front of me is my reality, and I can augment it. Augment it in the sense like I can change it using different types of objects and material using a software or mobile application. So it is simple as that. We are simply augmenting the reality. And the second philosophy is VR, also known as virtual reality, which is we are creating a whole new reality within our own reality, which is something completely new. Augmented reality, we are simply updating our current reality. Virtual reality means we are creating a whole new scenario, whole new reality within our current reality. So this is somewhat of a simple explanation for augmented reality. I think many of you have seen devices and things that people use and places, and some of you might have some devices. So in virtual reality, you are completely cut off from the real world and you are basically moved into a virtual world that you can experience as it is happening to you in the real life. In augmented reality, you can mix the real world and the augmented world together and experience it using different scenarios and different types. Okay. Before we move into how to develop and how to perform and how to enhance, we have to talk about how can we use this technology in our day-to-day applications and most importantly in our business and educational purposes. So let's say you are a engineering firm providing engineering services to users, customers and clients and etc. And you have, let's say, 150 people working for you and you usually hire 10 people per year as interns. So let's say 10-15 years back when you hire 10 people or 15 people as interns, what we do is we take them to certain plantations, certain places and certain specific devices and machinery. We provide them with knowledge and skills and we train them accordingly. So that is very tedious and very time and money consuming process. So what happened here is we can simply provide the same training and skill level. We can provide same knowledge base to the interns or whatever the person we are training inside a virtual reality. You have to simply put on a device, then you can simply experience the real thing as it is happening to you at the real moment, and you can simply practice what are the cases and what are the simulations that we can follow according to the devices and machinery that you follow. That is one simple example of training facilities, and also it can be used as a practicing skill, practicing device. So let's say you are working on some sort of a machinery and you can't test every scenario when you have a physical device on your hand, because some can be harmful, some tests can be dangerous to other people and for yourself. Therefore, in a physical and real world example, you can't test every scenario in the certain device. But in a simulated environment, in a virtual reality, you can simply test out every scenario you have in the book and every possible scenario in the application that you need to follow. Therefore, it is a better way to practicing skills and better way to master your craft without harming yourself or without damaging your profits or yourself in a real world example. Also, that will move on to follow like developing soft skills and expertise, and also emergency situations people can train for them in a simulated environment in virtual reality. That is very important and very useful tool to use when you are working in real world, because you can't train for emergencies in real world as it is happening right now. Therefore, if it is in a simulated environment in a virtual reality, you can basically test out, as I said earlier, every scenario in that emergency without harming anybody else. Also, with that curve of learning, you can simply test out different cases of new possibilities, which means your learning curve will be widened and your scope will be widened, and you can test out very different and very unrealistic, maybe somewhat of unrealistic in real world, but possibilities that you can follow through different sort of environments and different sort of applications and etc. So as you can see, I think everybody has a somewhat of idea why this is important. Also, at the same time, this can be used as a differentiate device. So, which means this is not just only for trainings and all that stuff, but let's say you are a company providing some service. Simply, you have a client demonstration or client come into your company, and you have to provide them with some demonstrations and some information regarding your company and what you do and what are the services you provide. So, for that case, we can simply say, okay, come to a company, put on the glasses or put on the devices on your head. We can simply follow them through our virtual reality simulation. Or else, let's say you are in one BT. When you come through the doors, we hand you some devices, and once you put on them, let's say they are augmented reality glasses from Microsoft. When you are put on, you can see when we look at people, it will show certain information of for that people, and when you look at some devices, so properties or some stuff, they'll show information for them. Likewise, this is like very wide range applications that we can use in different scenarios. Okay, moving on. This is some example for virtual reality. I think many of you have seen various examples in various places, but this is a training video that allows how to use different types of stuff and how to use them in a real simulated environment. As you can see, this certain person, they have the instructions are also in there. Simply you can follow the guideline, and so it is a guided training method. So you can follow these instructions and follow these guidelines. There are a lot of scenarios like this. Okay, this is one example that I have provided for augmented reality. This is the scenario that I have talked about when you are a company and you provide some service. Simply you can scan this like this. Then after we can augment around the bottle what are the things that we need to show. It is simple as that. Okay, so when we talk about AR and VR, there are several ways to enter into the space. So main and easiest way is that supported mobile devices. So there are certain mobile devices, which means newer models that supports the computing power for artificial intelligence. So those devices will also support AR and VR. So which means you have a new iPhone or new Samsung Galaxy, then simply you can use to access the AR VR applications and experience them. You don't have to have the newest device, but please check with there are a list of devices that you can use. Check with your device and device specifications, then you can find out whether you can use it or not. Also, there are devices that certainly specifically built for augmented reality and virtual reality, like Oculus glasses and many other various glasses and stuff, and Microsoft glasses, and also the newest one, Vision Pro by Apple. Those things are like specific devices for AR and VR. Also, there are some web devices like tablets and stuff. So the AR VR app can be web application or a mobile application or a specific software. So we can access it through a web device also. So this is a Oculus device. So we can put this on your head. We have controllers on the hand. This is mainly used for virtual reality, but this can be used for augmented reality as well. But the main use case of the Oculus Class is for virtual reality itself. These are some other devices we have currently in the market. Among them, the Google Glass and Microsoft HoloLens. Those two are like basically main items in augmented reality. Also Meta 2 and Oculus Rift and Google Cardboard. Also Samsung Gear VR. Those things are mainly used for virtual reality and virtual reality experience as well. So, and I think everybody knows about this and everybody have seen this. So this is Vision Pro by Apple. So by far, this is the best example we have for virtual reality and augmented reality device. So this thing is like it has a sets of functions. We can simply experience a virtual world inside the device. Once you need to experience the real world, simply click of a button. The front cameras will activate. This is not a transparent glass. There are cameras inside, night vision cameras inside. Those retina cameras will record your eyes and create a real life experience in the outside display. So simply you can experience the real world. According to the reviews and experiences that people have so far, they have mentioned that this provides a seamless real life experience with AR and VR. So this is somewhat of an example that they have collected from Apple demonstration. So we can simply use our iPad or our MacBook to simply we can use it as a different sets of monitors and stuff. So we don't need to have bigger monitors, so we don't need to have a lot of hardware to use our computers. Simply iPad or a MacBook is enough. Then after we just have to multiply it by the ways we want and use it. We can use it the ways we want. I think many of you has seen these things and follow these things. Also, it's very interesting. Okay, now the important part. So how to develop software for AR and VR. So this is somewhat of a nuance for most people and most developers as well, because software development for augmented reality and virtual reality is somewhat of a new thing in the tech world. It has been around for at least 6 to 7 years now by now, and most of the developers have been using these technologies for like last 3 4 years. So there are three types of applications that we can develop: mobile apps, web apps, and device specific software for the devices that we discussed earlier. So there are two main ways to develop software. So which means there are two main engines in the sense these are core software devices that we can use to develop software which can be applied to these three types. Euphoria is one of the very famous and very popular among developers for mobile app development for AR and VR. Also, Unity engine we are using in Unity app, also a very popular and very versatile tool that we can use in mobile device and web application, all of these scenarios. So this is somewhat of a rudimentary example, so rudimentary graphical representation, but the core concept is this. So mobile applications can be developed using Euphoria. Both all these three applications can be developed using AR and VR, and all these things can be run on Unity Hub IDE with their different sets of environment setups and stuff. Also, you can use Visual Studio also for the development material, but Unity Hub is very versatile and very resourceful in the development process. This is somewhat of an example in Unity Hub how it seems in the application. So we have, it is very simple actually. We have a light, so we can direct our light. Let's say I need to have a shadow in this way, shadows in that way. So we can change the direction of our light. We have a camera, so which means this is the camera. So the view which we are viewing as a viewer. So it is the camera will define the how it is shown, and we have different objects and material that we can insert here like this. In the camera is here, so we have here apple, so we can code it, we can interpret this object into a real life object, and then after we can bind them together. Then once we scan the object in the real life, then the apple will appear in that position. So it is simple as that, but there's somewhat of a learning curve in the development process, but that is pretty much we have to cover today. So today we talk about basically what is AR, what is VR, and what are the benefits and what are the things that we need to know. Also, the basics of how to develop an application in AR and VR. Help you guys as much as possible. So, and thank you guys for joining.